Welcome to Brew Kombucha. This is your guide to temperature control. The ideal temperature to ferment kombucha is right around 75 to 78 degrees, but you can still ferment pretty much anywhere between 65 degrees and 85 degrees. The easiest way for me to keep track of average room temperature and the temperature of the liquid in my brewing vessel is just using these really affordable temperature strips that I stick right onto my brewing vessels. If you have a food thermometer at home, you can also use that to stick it into your liquid and find out what the temperature is that way. If average room temperature at your place happens to be outside of the 65 to 85 degree range, you have a few options. If it's too cold, like in the wintertime, I know that a lot of home brewers will actually wrap Christmas lights around their brewing vessels just to have a little bit of heat and keep the brewing vessels warm. Other home brewers like to use seedling mats to help warm their vessels. I don't really recommend using seedling mats because it concentrates the heat down at the bottom of the vessel, which could cause an overabundance of yeast. You don't want to throw off that yeast and bacteria balance by heating up part of your brew and not heating up the rest of it. On the flip side, if it's too hot or if it's above that 85 degree range, just try to find the coolest place in your home that you can keep it, whether that's a dark closet, away from any windows, or worst case scenario, if it gets to the point where you're having temperatures in the hundreds, that's the one time that I would say that it's okay to put your brewing vessels in the fridge, just to cool it down for a little bit and then bring it back out once it cools down a little bit so that it's not in the fridge too long. In any case, whether you're on the low end or the high end of that temperature spectrum, your brew will still ferment. You might just have to adjust how long you let your brew ferment to accommodate for that. So for instance, when it's cold or in the wintertime, I'll just let my brew ferment for a little bit longer so that it can get to that acidity that I like. On the other hand, in the summer, it usually just takes around a week or so for my first fermentation to get to the acidity that I like. So it's just a matter of tasting it and adjusting depending on seasons. And even though a lot of the focus of this video has been on the ideal temperature range for your first fermentation, just know that the same rules apply during second fermentation in the bottle. If it's a little bit warmer, your bottles will likely get fizzier faster, and if it's a little bit cooler, it might take a little bit longer for your bottles to build up that good carbonation. So just adjust accordingly. If you want more information, be sure to check out the other videos on my channel, and as always, you can find more details at ubrewkombucha.com. Happy brewing!